Hi friends, and welcome back to another cozy reading vlog in which I'm taking you along as I'm reading some surprising books, going on a little book shopping spree and making myself comfy at home while soaking up the first warm day of the year, as well as organizing my bookshelves and my TBR cards, so make yourselves comfortable and let's dive in. So I'm currently reading Belladonna by Adalyn and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. It is not letting me go and all I want to do is read and read and read. Unfortunately, I'm currently on withdrawal from a medicine that I've been taking for my ADHD. In my last video I started taking it, but it didn't really go very well, so I stopped taking it again, but the withdrawal symptoms are still there and I am struggling a bit with my concentration and with nausea and dizziness, so sometimes I can't read for like really long periods of time, but I am really enjoying Belladonna so far. Like the gothic aesthetic and the personification of death and the main character, like I absolutely adore the main character. Like she is so relatable to me because she's trying to fit into society, because like that's her biggest dream, to be a part of this high-class society that is kind of inspired by, I would say, 1700, 1800 kind of society. Like that's what it feels like. And she's always referring to this book that she's been reading about like societal standards and how to fit into society and the etiquette of society and all of that. And she like really tries to stick by that book, but she just feels very uncomfortable doing it and it's not her cup of tea at all. Even though it has always been her dream, she feels very uncomfortable because she's never lived in that kind of world. And I can so deeply relate to that, even though our society is not as strict anymore, thank God. But the way she thinks about all of those rules, how to say the appropriate thing and always be like the nice girl, I can like really relate to that, especially as a woman. I feel like as a woman, like as a little girl, I heard that a lot, that I always have to be like the nice girl. And I'm also listening to an audiobook, which is actually a non-fiction audiobook, which is so rare for me. Like when I read non-fiction books, I usually read more memoirs. Those are usually the only non-fiction books I read, but I've been really trying to figure out how to live my best life and how to find a way to deal with all of my struggles and to find a way to include healthier habits into my life. So I have been listening to Atomic Habits by James Clear and I've been really enjoying that one so far. I do have to say that it is a bit too overachiever for me sometimes. Like it feels a bit toxic sometimes to me because I'm like, I don't want to live this perfect life where I just don't allow myself to enjoy myself, you know? And sometimes this book really sounds like, okay, you have to build this perfect lifestyle and exclude all of your bad habits to live this perfect life, and that's just not how I see life. Like to me, playing video games is not a bad habit, for example, and that is repeated again and again, that this could be one of the bad habits you would like to exclude from your life. It's not those kind of things I want to exclude from my life, but more of that like very excessive social media and phone use that is dominating my life sometimes. And I would like to read some more, for example, at nighttime and before bed and in the morning instead of like checking my phone. But besides that, it already taught me a lot of things. I have around 2 hours left of Atomic Habits and I have around, let me see, 150 pages left of Belladonna. So yeah, I would say, without talking much further, let's get into reading.
Something I need to tell you. kiss me like a knife, unimpressed and overrated, always bored. Catch me out of line, never rested, always faded, life's a chore. I'll pretend you're right, blur my vision, I'll believe you.
I put all of the books back onto my bookshelves and onto my TBR card in my room, except for these. I just didn't see them at all, and now I'm like, great, my TBR card is packed to the brim, so I don't know where to put these books now. But I've got around 70 pages left of Belladonna, and I really hope that I can finish it today. Today is Valentine's Day, which usually I spent with my boyfriend, but we're gonna go shopping later and then we're gonna spend the evening together, so there's plenty of time to read before that. So I really hope that I can finish Belladonna today. That's like my goal for today, but we'll see. Maybe Valentine's Day will get in the way, and I'm not 100% sure if this is going to be a 5-star read, because there have been 1 or 2 scenes where I was like, I don't know how much I'm feeling this. Like, there was one spicy scene with the personification of death where I was like, this feels super weird and I really don't know how to feel about this. I still really love the main character. I still really adore her. I can really relate to her. But I was like so impressed with how death was portrayed in this book. I really enjoyed that part, but now I'm like, do I still enjoy this? Like, I don't know. We'll see how this is going to continue, but the spicy scene felt very off to me, and I was like, this is creeping me out a bit. If it's just that one scene, I can live with that. I am very intrigued to see how this is going to end, and if I'm going to be in the mood to read the second book right away, or if I need a break after it. I'm done with Belladonna, and I've got so many feelings inside of me right now. Like, the ending really made me super emotional. The plot twist as well. I really did not see it coming at all, and I am just all over the place right now, but I always am after finishing a book. I really enjoyed the ending and the plot twist. I really enjoyed the whole atmosphere of the book. I really liked all of the characters, and also enjoyed that not all of the characters were as they seemed. Also, the world building and how everything was explained in a very visual way was what made me really captured by the story. I felt so enveloped in this world and in these different settings, and in Thorngrove and the woods and the garden and all of that. I could literally visually see it, and that is something that only happens to me when the writing is very well done. There were a few things, like I said, that weren't 100% up my alley, but the thing is that I felt so emotional reading this book, and that the setting was so beautiful. I could all imagine it so clearly, and I enjoyed all of the characters, that there are too many plus points for this book to say that it isn't a 5-star read. Like, to me, it's definitely a 5-star read. I had so much fun reading this book, and now I'm thinking, should I continue with the second book straight away, or should I read another book now? It's the next day and I got a little update for you. I have started the second book of Belladonna, and I'm already 90 pages in because I literally couldn't stop reading. I've read for 1.5 hours last night and immediately picked up the book again when I got up. So I'm very excited to continue this, and it has already started off with such a bang. There were so many new intrigues, so many new things where I was like, I need to know what's going to happen and how this is going to turn out, because wow, my mind was blown already. And we got a new mystical character, and he's called Fate. I love that these books are making such important human concepts into people. Like, it really gives me that Once Upon a Broken Heart feeling for some reason, because there were also fates that had different abilities, and it kind of reminds me of that. I just love the whole atmosphere and the whole magical vibe, and I am so hooked. I haven't been this hooked with the series for so long, and I just want to binge all of the books, and I haven't felt that in a very long time, and it's so great to feel that again. And I feel like my whole life is glittering at the moment. You will guess what I'm going to do now. I am going to continue reading this, and then I'll be back with an update. bought a little something yesterday on my book shopping trip. And I also finished 2 books, so let's talk about them. But first, let me show you what I bought. Okay, so I went into the bookstore and I was looking and there were a few books that caught my eye, but nothing that like really screamed at me to buy it. Except for this book, because I looked at it several times, and first of all, the cover is absolutely stunning. And secondly, there's a blurb by V. Schwab, which completely sold me on this book because I absolutely love V. Schwab's writing. And the book I bought is Our Infinite Fates by Laura Stephen, and it's got ombre edges and it's just so beautiful. And it also always has these like very cute chapter headings, and I am just obsessed. I am obsessed. And I'm very excited to read this one. So let me read you the back of this book. Maybe that's all love is in the end. An endless tempting of fate. Adalyn has lived countless lives, and in every single one she's been killed before her 18th birthday. But in her present life, her little sister needs her in order to stay alive. To save her sister and make it past her 18th birthday, she'll have to 1. Find the centuries-old enemy who hunts her through each life. 2. Figure out why she's being hunted so that she can break the curse once and for all. Most importantly, she's going to have to try not to fall in love with them again. Doesn't that sound just amazing? Like, I am so intrigued, and oh my gosh, the cover is just so stunning. Like, I literally can't believe how stunning this book is. Alright, and then I have also finished 2 books. First of all, I finished Atomic Habits, and then I've also finished Foxglove by Adalyn Grace. So let's first talk about Atomic Habits, which I've actually just finished a few minutes ago. So there definitely was some advice that I could really use and adapt to my life. And I feel like I have been reading a lot more and using a lot less social media since starting this book. But me as a neurodivergent person, I just couldn't really relate to everything I was said in here, and I felt like some tips and tricks just weren't applicable to my life because habit stacking sometimes just doesn't work for me. And also, when I start a task, it doesn't mean that I automatically do the task. Sometimes tasks feel very exhausting to me, and starting a task still means that I have to fight to get through the task, you know? Some things just weren't applicable to me, and that's totally fine, but that also means that I just didn't enjoy this book as much as other people probably did. I'm going to rate this book 3.5 stars because there were definitely some tips and tricks that I'm going to implement into my life, but there definitely were a few things that just didn't work for me, and that's fine. So yeah, that's that. And then I've also finished Foxglove, and Foxglove was so incredible. I do have to say that it wasn't as great to me as the first one for some reason, because at some parts it felt a bit dragged out, especially because there was a fight going on between 2 characters, and it felt like a very long and exhausting fight, and I just wish it would have been kept a bit shorter. But besides some little parts, I do have to say it was just as incredible. It brought so many new exciting elements into the story. We got a second main character that was also part of the first book, but we saw more of her POV, which I really enjoyed. It really felt like the same world, the same characters, but with a new storyline, with like more added to the story, with new characters. I really appreciated that, because sometimes I feel like second books in series can try to mimic the first book a bit too much, and that's definitely not what happened here, and that's what I really appreciated. So I did rate this book 5 stars as well, and I am so incredibly excited to start the 3rd book, which I'm probably going to do tonight. I will also film this for my next reading vlog. If you want to see that reading vlog, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and it would really mean a lot if you left a like on this video if you enjoyed watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!